The election season is in full swing. One way or another, the elections will define the year 2019 and be a watershed for the country. It is significant to point out that the power to choose resides entirely with the electorate, and where such power is relinquished, the process is bound to suffer. It is against this backdrop that we will be discussing the issue of the undecided voter and how this stratum of the electorate can impact on the outcome of the elections. Despite the tense campaigns both on social media and mainstream media, there are undecided voters who may or may not be partisan but are yet to make up their minds. So, who can win their votes and what will persuade them to decide? This and more we shall find out in a moment. I am Denis ADEGUNLOYE. Welcome to Nigeria Today. And in the studio to discuss the topic reaching the undecided voter is Barrister Esther Uzoma, a legal practitioner. Welcome to Nigeria Today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us again. And also on the program we have another usual guest, Mr. Jide Ojo, who is a public affairs analyst. Mr. Jide, welcome to Nigeria Today.
My pleasure. Happy weekend. Happy new month.
Thank you. All right. Well, election season is high upon us, and we're going to talk about, as I said, the undecided voter. Let me come to Esther Uzoma first. Who exactly is the undecided Nigerian voter?
All right. The undecided Nigerian voter, first of all, is that Nigerian citizen who, first of all, possesses a PVC.
Yeah.
Because without that, you can't qualify to be a voter. He also is also that Nigerian person who is actively, listening to the campaign promises, of awaiing all the candidates. Is that Nigerian citizen who is objective, who is considering what issues, the actors are raising, their past records, the promises they are making, and that Nigerian voter who is undecided is the one who is weighing all these factors and then trying to take his decision one way or the other. Certain factors that this undecided Nigerian voter may consider are factors like 1, maternal rights, maternal mortality and related matters, security and related matters, poverty, unemployment, youth participation. So different strokes for different folks. But for that undecided voter, is actively engaged, listening patiently, and decided who will get my vote. That is who the undecided voter is.
All right. It's not necessarily those who don't care two hoots about who wins or...
Those people who don't care have already made up their mind. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Mr. Jide, it would seem that most voters already have their minds made up on who they want to vote for but before election day. What then is the connection between that premise and the fact that we still see a large number of undecided voters when the actual day comes upon us?
Historically, Nigeria has never been privileged to have 100% voter turnout at any elections.
Yeah.
In fact, we've been struggling between 30–35% turnout at the best of times. And at the worst of times, we've even had the elections decided with 9% of voters. INEC chairman told us at one of the stakeholders meeting that there was a by-election, House of Reps by-election that was held in Lagos. We had 9% voter turnout.
That's right.
Decided who eventually became a rep, not even a state House of Assembly member. It's that bad. So the point is, undecided voter are to be found in every clime, every democratic clime. For whatever reason, they want to participate. They have collected their PVCs. They are waiting for the day to come, but they are weighing options as to which one will best favor them. It may well be for good or for bad.
Exactly.
When we say undecided, it may be that they want to hear more and be convinced, or it may be I'm waiting for the party that will grease my palm. or the candidate that will grace my palm. Because now, you know, as we say, the greatest challenge we have with our elections in today Nigeria are two things: electoral violence and vote buying. So some so-called undecided voters may be thinking, okay, I want to see who will accost me and give me a better deal. So it could be for that negative reason. It could also be that there are weighing options as to where the community leaders will ask them to go. Because whether we like it or not, there's what is called community voting. In many grassroots environments, many rural communities, where they behold to their traditional rulers or their religious leader. So they want to hear Papa talk. They want to hear Sheikh. They want to hear the Imam tell them who to vote for, or the community leader, the traditional ruler. Where do you want us to go? That usually takes place a day or the morning of elections for them to be decided. But for an average elite like you and I, who is literate,
I'm not an elite.
You are. There are different strands of elite. You are a qualified lawyer with many years standing. You have a good right. You have a home. You have a bar chamber. So that qualifies you. Those are parameters.
Let's get back to the topic at hand.
All right.
So the point is that, like I said, we have to look at it two ways. Those who are waiting to be convinced, and they are weighing the options, monitoring political debates, town hall meetings, you know, listening, going to visit the site of these candidates, trying to assess what their projects, campaign documents are saying as relates to some of the issues Esther has raised. What do they have on job creation? What do they have on social infrastructure? How do they intend to do? But it takes an enlightened person to be weighing those options. And I dare say that they are more in minority. The majority of people will be waiting for directive from somewhere as to where they should cast their ballot. And that's a huge challenge.
Yeah, Esther, that is quite an issue of concern. Having you know, people at the grassroots level relying predominantly on traditional rulers who may have their own motivation.
I beg to differ.
Okay.
I beg to differ because, you see, people are illiterate, but illiteracy is not stupidity. I'll give you an instance. In the Southeast, for instance, issues are vigorously debated. Even when it comes to the family unit, issues are vigorously debated. So I have my reservations, you know, whether these people are actually waiting for who to tell them where to go. People, you know, who have decided where to go, particularly have made such decisions, not, you know, like Jide is saying, not necessarily based on objectives first. Sometimes it's just religion. Yeah, sometimes it's just ethnicity. Okay? However, even when those factors are equal, there are other things. You know, people still, you know, the power to choose is an innate quality of the human species. So always people are deciding, and one thing that persuades people one way or the other is what they hear, perception, how they perceive. You know, because bottom line, we really won't know how things will pan out. But that perception, so, this person, that is what guides, you know, their decisions. Yes.
All right, Jide, to what extent should bodies like the Independent National Electoral Commission and other, you know, civil societies be responsible for helping the undecided voter in making up his or her mind?
Well, we've been doing a lot regarding voter education and sensitization at the level of media and civil society. I have taken it as a duty, a patriotic duty, to conscientize the nation on various media platforms like this one that you have afforded me. Even in my column in the Punch newspapers weekly, particularly this season, I've dedicated most of my commentary on encouraging voters to participate in the electoral process. Like we say, in this, you know, the flavor in this particular election is that INEC will not count your prayer points, INEC will not count your Facebook posting, INEC will not count your tweet, but we count your vote. So if you do not vote, you have shot yourself in the foot. You stop agonizing and stop agonizing, but organize yourself. How do you organize? Is by making sure you participate in the electoral process. And active participation means that you not only collected your PVC, but you are also making yourself available on the day of election to exercise your franchise. However, we stop short of telling people where to vote.
That's right.
Because it's not our duty as civil society or media to say go vote for party A or party B. Ours is to encourage them, go vote your conscience. You understand? Vote whoever appeals to you. It may be, like Esther said, ethnic, religious, status, tribal, oratorial, skill, articulacy and all of that. It may be for whatever.
Yeah,
well, we are trying to be a wordsmith here. But the bottom line is that people have different reasons why they decide. And you know, it's not oftentimes a bandwagon thing. Many a time, I think we get it wrong, where we boxed ourselves into argument of presidential polls.
That's right.
It's not, I can tell you for free that this coming election will be skirt and blouse. Apologies for using those expressions.
As a feminist
what I'm trying to say is that you'll be shocked that you may have a different party controlling the executive and a different one controlling the legislative arm. And it will point to one direction. If you have a different party controlling the executive and another one controlling the legislature, and the same election held simultaneously, it tells you the story that people are politically savvy. They decided that, look, for this person, for this position, I'm voting DENIS. For this other position, I'm voting Esther. Because Esther will do well in Senate, DENIS will do well in presidency. So it could be, that's what I mean by the expression skirt and blouse.
Okay, well, we'll continue our discussion shortly, but for now, this is Nigeria Today, and our topic is reaching the undecided voter. We'll now take a short break from the studio to bring you reactions of some Nigerians on the topic. Stay with us.
You know, have a continuity. Then if this government step down now, if another government come now, it will change its own character differently. So we will go back to square one. So any government, when it comes, let's have a continuity, so that continuity can be good for us.
Somebody that wanted to support for this election, 2019, the criteria of the person is this: is somebody that can help the masses, somebody that can help us for our education, somebody that can provide social amenities. That's what we're looking for 2019.
My main quest, what will give me a room to select who I want, is to see the kind of intervention, how the policy-oriented, people policy-oriented that the government is bringing, even if it doesn't affect me, the kind of people that it affects. How are our policies obsolete? How are they effective? That's what I look at before I come to select whoever I want to vote for.
All right, we're back in the studio, and the program is Nigeria Today. Our guests, Barrister Esther Uzoma and Mr. Jide Ojo, are still with us, and we are discussing, of course, the undecided voter. You heard some of the comments there, Esther, from members of the public. Like we were talking earlier, the undecided voter may be, looking for more decisive information, if you like, on on specific areas of national development that will eventually lead to them voting one way or the other. Let's just talk about this. We're in an era now of fierce competition in politics. How should messaging in campaigns and party manifestos, I know you'll be interested in answering this one, target the undecided voter, especially where we have an appreciable number of voters already with partisan bias?
Yes. For the political parties, You must tailor your message to meet the audience you're going to see. You must, that's the first thing you have to do. You see, when you go to places, you know, or when you are meeting professional bodies, for instance, you know, if you are meeting MBA, for instance, or you are meeting a medical council of medical association, you know, things like that, you're not going to tell them, you know, anything outside how their profession, you know, how your how your election will impact positively, because those people believe that you have to navigate the world through where they are. So you must tell them your nuance, you know, to being, for instance, to the lawyer, you tell, listen, this is how we're going to uphold rule of law and all that. If you're meeting the market woman, she's not interested in macroeconomics. She's not interested in what the basic things is. She wants to know, how will it be easier for me to just buy and sell? If you're meeting the farmer wants to know, how do I access fertilizer? How do I transport my goods? How do I preserve them? So number one thing you must do is that you must tailor your messaging to your audience. You see, generally, people are always eager to change masters. That's what Machiavelli said. Because they really believe that the next person who is coming will treat them better than the former one. Yeah. So, all those promises. But however, ensure that as you are tell them the things that are achievable. Don't tell them you are going to build, you know, you fix air conditioner and it's in golf courses. Don't tell them that. You know, like Jide said, people are savvy, they are listening, they're watching. So tell them the things that can be achievable. Tell them the things that your government can impact immediate, because that's what they're looking for. You know, the voter, this undecided voter is asking, how will this benefit me? Like they say, oh, all politics, you know, is local. How will it make my life better? That is the number one question of whoever you're going to meet. So you must tailor your message and, of course, eschew headship. When you spend your time and energy castigating the other opponent instead of selling your candidacy, that is a huge blunder. Yeah. Don't do that, because one thing happens is that you come off as a hateful person. You know, and people say, oh, this person has a very bad attitude. And
we've seen in the past the ripple effect and the
of hate,
how that backfires.
That's right. It does backfire.
All right, Jide, let's talk about the media now. The influence of the media, whether mainstream or social, on impacting on the perception and molding the views of the undecided voter.
Well, the media is playing that role. And that's why you see almost all the parties and candidates have social media angle. They are also having huge presence in the traditional media, knowing full well that this is a medium of mass communication, and they needed to reach multitudes. And you know, again, there is a tacit communication that is taking place. You see a number of projects being commissioned, you know. That is also communication. In a sense, people are saying, oh, this road has been commissioned. This airport terminal has been commissioned. Right. So it's a means of telling you, I will do more if you can, you know, one party will say we will take you to somewhere else. You know, this is communication, and it's just that you do not limit yourself to one strand of communication. It has to be multi-strategy. That's right. Multiple strategy to reach different. You won't find my granny on social media. You find my children. Yeah. You find, you know, middle-aged people, young people. You know, those are the people you are targeting when you go put messages on social media. That's right. But when you want to reach people in the grassroots, you use radio. Radio, yes. You use radio because it doesn't matter whether they have lights to power their. If they don't have lights, in fact, many of them don't have light. They are not connected to national grid, so they are used to buying their batteries to power their radio. But my mom, who is in her 70s, does wake up to listen to all the news analysis. She moves from one radio station to the other as if she's going to have an examination on it. And that is to tell you that in order to convince her, to make her decide, you need to come to that medium. To reach her. So you have to adopt multiple strategy. And you know, one thing I respect politicians for is that they deal with numbers. As INEC has given the number of registered voters and done the calibration as to the different age groups, different occupational and all of that, they are studying the numbers. Oh, this is the number of youth and middle class. So if we want to reach, these are the artisans, these are the employed public servants and civil servants. Now they are going to target their different messages to reach these different communities of people. And that's why INEC actually gave them this CD containing this voters register way back on January 7th, so that they can take a study and look at how they can reach different segments of registered voters, including those who are yet to collect their PVCs, because we should not exclude those people, even though they are undecided voters. They are a community of undecided. That's why they have not gone to collect their PVC. But they still have that window between now and 8th of February to decide on when to go, to decide to go and collect, and then to come out to vote.
All right, Esther, let me give you the last word. In the context of everything we've said, we already have an increase in number of registered voters, as stated by INEC for the election compared to 2015. So from your observations, do you envisage more people coming out this time around or less?
So many things have happened. You know, INEC, we have a better INEC. Let me use that word. We have a better, more strategic INEC. And that has, you know, provoked the faith of the Nigerian citizen. So I will say safely, you know, that we'll have more voters this time around, particularly young persons. All
right, and this is certainly of great news to the growth of democracy in our country, Nigeria. I'd like to appreciate both of you for your coming on Nigeria Today to discuss this very crucial topic, just days ahead of our forthcoming general elections. That is it on Nigeria Today. We have been speaking with Barrister Esther Uzoma, a legal practitioner, and Mr. Jide Ojo, public affairs analyst. Thanks for your time and sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you very much.
All right, and to our viewers, thanks for watching, and you can check us online at www.youtube.com/NTA News 24 Hub to watch this edition or any other program of News 24. My name is Dennis ADEGUNLOYE. Thanks for watching.